Hi guys, so previously what we did was plot the functions sine 2x and cosine 2x in this interval using the plot function, and that gave us this output here where the red line is cosine of 2x and the blue line is sine of 2x. So first, before we try and attempt the second part of the question, which is this, let's just quickly add a few labels to our graph. So we're just going to add an x label called x-axis and a y label called y-axis. I'm going to add a title called graph of sine 2x and cosine 2x. So if you run this, it should label our axes and give it a title. Okay, and it has. So now we want to answer the question. It says try giving the sine curve a cyan color with line width 4 and the cosine curve a green color with line width 3, and use docplot for help. So if we type in docplot in our command window, we get some Matlab documentation on the function plot. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can change the line width and marker size here. Line width, specify line width, marker size, and marker color. So if we go to here, we can change our line width using this command here, or this input here. So we would just put line width inside plot with our vectors here and give it a value. And also we could change the color as well. So to give it a color, so for example, I'll actually show you how to give it a color, because there's multiple ways you can give it colors. So I'll show you the way that makes a bit more sense. So firstly, what we would do is go into the point where, go into the code where we've actually coded the sine curve. So that's sine of 2x, right? The y vector. So now it gives us options, line spec 1, right? So this just stands for line specification. So basically the property we want to modify. So if we just type in color inside of the apostrophes and then write down the color we want right after the property, right? So color, and it says we want to give the sine curve a cyan color. So we could just type in cyan, right? There's multiple ways you could write this. You could write it as cyan, or you could write it as C. I think both work. So if we just run this, this should, okay, it has changed the color of our curve to cyan, okay, our sine of 2x. And now we want to modify the line width property. So it says try giving the sine curve a cyan color with line width 4. So simply what you would do is just in apostrophes write down line width, and then after that, comma, the value you want to give it. So we want to give it 4. So if we do this, it should modify our line width to be 4. And yeah, indeed, it has become a bit thicker. Okay, I think the default line width is about 0.7 something. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but the default is much thinner. So if we go to line number 8, where our cosine curve is, we can just specify the color here as well. So it says give it a green color. So a shortcut command for that would be G, or you could type in green, because I think Matlab understands what that means. And then what we will do is give it a line width of 3. Line width of 3. So if we just run this, we get a nice diagram with the sine color being the sine curve and the green color being the cosine curve. And if we really wanted to see which one is which, we could just add a legend and just do sine of 2x and cosine 2x. Okay, so this is going to give it a legend and make sure these are in the order that we plotted them. So if we do that, and if you really look at the figure, you may not be able to tell, but sine of 2x does have a thicker line in the legend, and cosine of 2x is a bit smaller. But if you really wanted to see how it affects the legend, let's just, for example, change this to 1. We can now see, so we just changed the cosine curve to 1. We can now see that the cosine curve is thinner, and it's also thinner on the legend, right? So hopefully that made sense. And yeah, that's how you would customize your color and line width. It has many more customizations. If you just read the documentation, there's many more ways to change the specification of the line. Thank you for watching.